We got the 49ers, we got the Buccaneers right here on the game plan. Smash that like button, faithful. Let's get it.
Whiskey on the rocks and a 24-karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy B tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezy on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezy, the 4-9 preacher. We so bright that we shining.
What's going on, faithful to the Bay? Welcome to the Wayne Breezy Show. What's poppin'? How you guys doing out there, man? Happy Friday. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew. You already know what time it is. Going to give you a shout out in a second, but I just wanted to say happy Friday. Welcome to the game plan. Listen, my brother John Chapman couldn't be here because he is currently traveling, getting ready to do the 49ers rush in Tampa. He's bringing them good goods down to Tampa Bay. So make sure if you're out in the area, you go support John Chapman and the 49ers Rush Road Trip crew as they'll be setting up doing the event on tomorrow as well as the tailgate on Sunday. All right. So make sure you guys check out our man John Chapman. Shout out to our partners over at residency.com. Use the promo code SF Breezy, all right, and you can go ahead and save on your total purchase. They got a cool special going on right now. They got like 40% off, so take advantage of the 40% off as well as using that promo code SF Breezy. You can save on your total purchase. Don't forget to like this joint right now. If this is your first time watching, hit that like button. Even if it's the second time, third time, fourth time watching, smash that like button. Don't forget, if this is your first time watching, go ahead and click on subscribe because why not? Like, why not subscribe? If you want to help the channel, that's the best way you can do by helping me on this channel by just clicking the subscribe button. It's super simple. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. And if you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and click on that join button, become a member of the Breezy Bunch community. They get cool special perks, especially like the early show shout outs and things like that, and priority to responses on the live shows. All right. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. You can follow me on all of the other social medias that are listed in that ticker down below. Let's go. Bang, bang. Not a gang. How y'all doing out there, man? All right, man, let's get some early show shout-outs. Jack's in the building, sets it off. Hey, Wayne and Faithful, I hope everyone Friday is going marvelously. We are headed to Tampa to get this dub 5-1. I like that, baby. I see a blowout coming, and it's time. Have a great show. Jax, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comment as well. Shout out to you for as well. Thank you for being a great moderator right here on the channel and a member of the Breezy Bunch. Cool. Go member at that. Appreciate you, Jax. Thank you again. Don't bother me in the building. What's going on, fam? With the hashtags, all that good stuff. Appreciate you, man. Oscar, my man. I was on time today. I think I was like a minute late. Good morning, Wayne and Faithful. Here for the BS. Tell me how in the heck the Eagles are ranked ahead of us. Analysts must be tripping. Well, there's no way they could be ranked ahead of us. I need more detail on what you mean ranked ahead of us. Do you mean power ranked ahead of us? I mean, if so, I get it. They went into the game, they went into the game ahead of us. I think moving forward, they won't be ahead of us. So Niners got to take care of business, though. Like the Niners can be First of all, the Niners are still the best team in the NFC. I know that they're tied with the Detroit Lions. I know that they're tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. They were tied with the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost to the Giants. We got to play the Giants in a couple of weeks. That's going to be interesting, right? But the Niners still had the best record in the NFC, if I'm not mistaken, because number one, they didn't lose to any teams in the NFC. So they were undefeated. They're still undefeated in the NFC, and they're undefeated in their division, which would break any tiebreakers. Like they're leading their division and things like that. So yeah, now that I think there's 3 4-1 teams, and the Niners are playing a 4-1 team this Sunday in Tampa Bay. So the Niners take care of business, hold that down. And then the Lions lose, oh man, like the Niners will definitely be the best team in the NFC. And I think we can kind of like without getting too big for our britches, start to poke the chest out, because when I get through all the stuff that we dealing with going into Tampa Bay, both teams are pretty much beat up, but damn, I mean, at least Tampa Bay has their starting quarterback. I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? But Oscar, let me know more in detail what you mean. 49er Jeff, let's go beat the Bucs. I want to beat the Bucs for sure. And I want to beat them bad, right? Like Jack said, I want to blow out. I don't expect a blowout. I'm not expecting a blowout, but that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lie. Good morning, Tanisha. Good morning, Breezy and the Breezy Bunch crew. 5-1 coming up. I love it, man. The cards are falling our way. I already know what you're talking about. It's all the way up. Turn it up. It's all the way up from here. You know what I'm saying? It is all the way up. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be it's gonna be a great game. I can tell you right now. And for those that want to join my watch party, all right, that's what it's called. It's called a watch party. You can join me on the Patreon, www.patreon.com/TheWayneBreezy. You sign up for the $5 tier. That's $5 for a month. It's not like $5 per episode, but for the month, and you can join the watch party with us and be in the chat, live chat. And we live reacting. We all going at it, like, just what we see. And I'm commentating and color commentating. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. And he drops back and he steps back and he does a 3-step drop and oh my gosh, off the back foot. It's kind of some of that, but it's more color comment. It's funny. It's comedy. I promise. And I'm not a comedic, but it's funny. So you can join us over there if you need a place to, join the watch party. You're more than welcome. All right. So, yeah, like it's crazy. Christy in the building. Love Christy. She's here on Fridays. I'm starting to notice the trend. Friday's a good day. I got to make sure I keep the Friday shows going up. You know what I'm saying? That Friday. It's good to have you here. Felicia in the building. Another Breezy Bunch member for sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love, the support, and all that stuff. And Niner Gang podcast. This is my brother right here, man. So I'm gonna get you on a couple of these shows this season. Dion, I promise. I'm just all over the place. I'm not necessarily stable, right? Like I'm just not in a stable mind. But I promise, like I've talked to people that I definitely want to guest and feature on the show. So don't worry, I got you. I'm not overlooking you or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out my consistency so that I can be consistent for you, so that you can have something to set up. You know what I mean? But weekdays good. All right, I got you, bro. I promise. All right, I definitely do. Let's start the show off with a super chat. Woo, super chats. I love super chats because super chats get me excited for a couple of reasons. One, that means you really want to be read. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means you really want me to read your take. And number two, they help support the channel. I ain't gonna lie. Jax with the super chat. Thank you so much. Tampa be good to us. All right. Now, Tampa's usually good to us. Actually, I feel like the Florida cities are always good. Miami's good. Jacksonville's good. And Tampa's good. Like Tampa is usually good. Wayne, who be? Yeah, I'm just gonna read it the way he wrote it. Who be your offensive and defensive player of the game? And how many interceptions will the defense get Sunday? All right, so we just not going to waste anything. You don't wait to the end to ask the questions. We do a segment where we're going to, you want to know right now. My offensive, defensive player of the game. All right, so I believe on Nitty Gritty with my co-hosts, Peachy and Mose, I gave breakout players. Offensively, just from, based off the mini game plan that I was able to put together, and what I've been watching on film, I think offensively, it's Mr. Consistent himself. The most consistent offensive player on this team is Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to rank up. Like, you know what I mean? I think he gets his first rushing touchdown this week. And y'all probably going to be like, oh, you're going to say that every week. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Sorry, God. You're damn right I'm going to say that every week. But this is the week. I think I'm not saying it's going to be an explosive touchdown, but I think the Niners are going to get Christian McCaffrey into the end zone, get his first rushing touchdown. I also think he's going to be featured and utilized in the receiving game heavy. That allows one other receiver to like go hamburger. So it's crazy because Christian McCaffrey can get 10 targets and so can a wide receiver, right? I think that's how the Niners kind of got their game plan set up. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. So I think Christian McCaffrey on the offensive side. And then defensively, I want to see Fred Warner rebound. Like, I didn't think he was kind of lost in the sauce a little bit. Still the most energetic, impactful player, and it's crazy I'm going with the two captains here, but I thought Fred Warner didn't have his best game last week. And I think Fred Warner, who has an interception playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his bag in his career, boom. And because I said Fred Warner will get the 49ers' first interception of the season. So I got Christian McCaffrey getting the 49ers' first rushing touchdown of the season. And y'all mark this up because I want y'all to hold me accountable when I'm wrong, if I'm wrong. And then Fred Warner getting the first 49ers interception of the season. I don't see Baker Mayfield turning the ball over heavily. That's not his one interception on the season. So the one is fine for me. The one is fine. Anything more than one, I'll do a praise dance live on the watch party. Like, you know what I mean? So anything more than one, you get a live praise dance because I'll be so forever grateful. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what else more I could do. I'll be so forever grateful. That's just how I am. Red Jet Shell in the building. Another member of the Breezy Bunch crew. What's going on? What's going on? Pablo says John Chapman. John Chapman is traveling. Currently, he's probably on an airplane right now. You know what I mean? So let's wish him safe travels, Godspeed to him as well, and keep him in our prayers that he gets to his destination. He's going to be doing the 49ers Rush road trip, so he is unavailable on today. I'm sorry. If you thought he was going to be here, I tried not to advertise that he was going to be here, but I know that this is his consistent day, but unfortunately, he couldn't be here. Vince, what's going on? Another member of the Breezy Bunch crew says, Tampa defense giving up points recently. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they that's what they do. We're gonna go through that. So Tampa Bay defense, they do give up points. You know what I mean? But their offense also puts up points. They got a good run defense. Their scoring defense, you can score on them, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll get to the rankings and team stats a little bit later. But yeah, you're 100% correct. You've been doing your homework. So look, practice. We're going to get through that. It's been looking up and up and up. You know what I'm saying? It's been looking up and up. Shout out to Peachy, another Breezy Bunch member, moderator, mediator, content creator, all that good stuff. Appreciate you, sis. Smash that like button for this amazing content. Thank you so much for joining. My man Boats in the building. Boats is one of the great moderators on my Discord, which we also, so I'll do live stuff on the Discord as well. The Discord, I will put in the link in the description at the show if you want to join the Discord as well. So you guys can do that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's fun. Trust me. Everything we do outside of here on live TV is hilarious. I can tell you that right now. All right. So what's going on, Bo? It's good to see you, man. All right, so Niners, people want to know, like, who's playing? Who is not playing? Honestly, we didn't get that yet. Like, and it is what it is. But we do know, our team is kind of bad up and bruised as far as the injury report. Now, I'm going to go through both teams, so bear with me. And I will say that the Niners have more injured players than any other team in the league. So until that even kills itself out, it's just going to be the way it is. And I can tell you, look, Tampa Bay, and I'm looking at the injury report right now, Tampa Bay has some injured players too. They're pretty beat up, all right? And they're beat up as well in key positions. The one position that they do have that's solid is Baker Mayfield, but he's dealing with some type of an injury as well. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, he's not like 100% healthy. All right. Levante David, Jamal Dean, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin Jr., Bucky Irvin, Christian Isian, Zion McCollum, Ben Morrison, Tristan Wirfs, Teddy Bridgewater, all on the Buccaneers injury report. All right. So if you want to know, they do got some players that are injured in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. Wait till I read the Niners. I'm not even going to read the Niners. I'm just going to give you the number. All right. If you think You think they injured? Check this out. Now, as far as players that did not practice on Thursday, and these are the kind of like the players, what? These are kind of like the players that I don't expect to play in the game. Mike Evans, news came out today. Chris Godwin is not expected to play in the game. He's dealing with a fibula injury. Mike Evans, we know, is dealing with his hamstring. He's going to be out for another week. Bucky Irvin, his foot and shoulder and other undisclosed stuff. He's going to be probably, he didn't practice as well, so I'm not expecting him to play. Now, the Zion McCollum one is interesting. Like, he's dealing with a thumb injury. This is their corner. Now, they are going to probably get back Jamal Dean. I did say that he was up here, but he fully practiced, right? He wasn't limited. He full practice. So they're going to get back their big corner, which we could talk about how you could take advantage of him because you can get him. He's a penalty guy, too. Like, he gets a lot of penalties. I would test him. But, yeah, so Zion McCollum, that's the question mark. Like, will they have one of their starting corners, but they have the other starting corner out. Benjamin Morrison, their rookie from Notre Dame, he doesn't look like he's going to play. And as far as Wirfs and Bridgewater, those guys are going to be fine. They were all limited, you know what I'm saying? So don't necessarily, those guys are going to play or whatnot, you know what I mean? So let's go. All right, so Niners, like tons of players. All right, so and we'll focus on the did not practices. They got a lot of players. I'm just gonna give you the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 is still the number. You know what I mean? 18 is still the number, 18 is still the number. So that's going to be, but only 4 of them are the ones we got to that you're kind of concerned that's going to be missing the game. All right, Robert Bill Jr. did not practice. Don't expect him to play. Not sure why they even brought him back. Anyway, Yetur Gross-Matos, we know he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Did not practice. He's not going to probably play for a few weeks, depending on how severity the hamstring injury is. Ricky Pearsall did not practice. I'm not expecting him to play. He's dealing with a knee injury. I'm a little concerned about that knee, but I'm hoping it's healing properly. And then Brock Purdy, these are the guys that did not practice that you have to kind of like be cautious of, that did not play. Now, a lot of other players are injured. Mac Jones is dealing with an injury. We're going to talk about Mac Jones as well because I want to know if there are any concerns about Mac Jones's injuries, because this is, he's a knee injury and an oblique injury that John Lynch kind of disclosed yesterday on KMBR. And it makes sense because that's kind of like when remember when Byron Young fell on him? I'm thinking that kind of messed up his obliques, but he was kind of holding his knee and he had the knee injury lingering from prior. So this is going to be interesting to see, moving forward. Can he withstand? And now he's been limited all week. And I know Adrian Martinez, there was a report out that Adrian Martinez was taking snaps. Obviously, he's the backup quarterback. Brock Purdy's not going to play. That secures that Brock Purdy is not playing. All right? That secures that Brock Purdy is not playing. But expect Mac Jones to be the starter. I know somebody said something to me about, well, Mac Jones might not even play. Huh? What? They didn't bring in another quarterback. Like, use your brain cells, right? Number 1, they didn't bring in another quarterback. Number 2, Brock Purdy isn't playing. Number 3, Mac Jones has been limited in practice and just dealing with, the stuff that he's been dealing with. And it sounds like Mac Jones is going to be fine. I mean, I expect him to be good to go. But I guess what makes it a little bit interesting is, how much pain is he really going to be in? You know what I mean? And the Niners, what they got to do is they got to figure out how to keep people off of him. Now, per Nick Wagner, Mac Jones says he's progressing through the week with the knee and oblique injuries. Jones says he didn't do too much throwing in early portion of practice to save some throws for the rest of the session and be ready for Sunday. Just getting treatment, quote, every day and working. We have a good plan in place, and I feel confident and just working through it day by day. That's all you can do, end quote. So it sounds like Mac Jones is going to be fine. This is just precautionary stuff about what Mac Jones is going through and what he's going to have to do to get through this game. Now, we know that Mac Jones is a tough son of a gun, right? Like a son of SOB. Like, we've seen it. Like, that dude got hit 9 times last week. They were coming after Mac Jones. I need the 49ers offensive line this week to be a little bit more protective. I understand that they're not giving up sacks, but they're still allowing their quarterback to get hit. Now, some of those hits are on the quarterback. Some of those hits are on the quarterback. But we got to find a way to keep Mac Jones. We got to find a way to keep him less hit. I think that is key. I think that is key. Mac Jones just seems like, he's going to dig this out and go in, go out, And so we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys with the ears to the streets and anything. But any concerns about Mac Jones' oblique injury? And I feel like the oblique is a little bit more, because you can play with a knee brace, but when your oblique hurts, that means you can't really get the throw out, because you got to bring that's going to affect his throwing. So that would be my concern. I don't know how severe this oblique injury is, but we'll see what happens. Mac is just tough. He's tough as nails. So there it is. We'll see what happens. But that's the 49ers practice report as from yesterday. We don't know what it's going to be today. Hopefully you get more guys out there practicing and things like that. And we'll see what happens, when it comes to the 49ers. But both teams are pretty much beat up, battered, and bruised. It's just the way it is. Now let's look at some of these team stats to kind of see where players are ranked. And let me get my big chart out so I ain't squinching down over here. But the Niners, as bad as their offense is, they still have a top 5 offense in this league. You can't even make that up. They put up yards. Where they're bad is in situations. And that's what hurts the San Francisco 49ers, right? Because it's like they're bad in red zone offense. They can't score like they want in the red zone. Those percentages are down. It's close to 40%. It's 40%. It's in the 40% range, right? Not the high 40s, but it's in the 40% range. So it's pretty bad. And the Niners, but offensively, they can move the ball down the field. They're able to throw the ball a lot. They've been doing really good with throwing the ball. They're 5th in yards. They're 5th in yards per game. They're 1st in passing. When did we ever think we would see the San Francisco 49ers be number 1 in passing yards and passing yards per game? Where it gets weird is that they're not running the ball. So they're 27th in rushing yards, and then they're 28th in rushing yards per game. Now, if the Niners can continue to keep the passing game up, I would say average around the 260 mark, right? They keep that and boost up their rushing yards. Man, this will be more of a complete team. Right now, they're just unbalanced offensively. And this is why the score isn't a blowout, right? Because they can't figure out how to run the ball successfully as of yet. They just haven't figured it out. We're into week 6 and the Niners struggle in rushing the ball. They're 19th in points, have a total of 106 points. They're 22nd in points per game. So they're only averaging about 21 points per game, right? A little over 21 points per game. That's what they're averaging. With a defense like the 49ers, that's been able to win games. That's why they're 4-1. The thing is, can they figure out how to get this number up? Can they start scoring, can they get a couple of 30-point games? And that will help boost their average up a little bit. But it's going to take a lot, because when you look at that Buccaneers defense, it's pretty stout, right? They're 13th overall in yards. And what they are notorious and known for is stopping the run. If the Niners can't run the ball, they're going to stop the run. They're 10th in allowing rushing yards. They only allowed 462 rushing yards all season. They're 9th as far as yards per game, 92.4. And that's where they get that. That's kind of how that's their bread and butter on defense. And so you kind of got to figure out, how are we going to run against another top run defense? Oh, and so game plan wise, we can get into some things that Kyle Shanahan can do to help that run game. It's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Every team we played have been selling out to stop the run. They're not just stacking the box. They're run blitzing. They're stacking the box. Like, they're doing a lot of different things to take away the run game. And they're doing, and defenses have been doing a really good job, because what they do is on the first rundown. That's why I like what Kyle Shanahan is doing. Trust me, Kyle is no longer rushing on first down. I don't know if you've paid attention, but the first play is a pass. It's not a big, deep pass down the field. It's more like an extension of the run game type of pass. Why? Because Kyle Shanahan is trying to find ways to prevent negative plays on first down. When we would run the ball on a first down, 9 times out of 10 is -1 yards. And now it's second and long, opposed to second and medium, second and short. You get what I'm saying? We're not getting the big gash of runs this year. It's just not what we are. Defensively, the Niners defense overall, they had one game where they just let the ball, they let them air them out. It was against the Rams. I mean, Matthew Stafford was just airing the ball out against the Niners defense, and it hurt them. It hurt them in their standings. I don't think they cared because they won the game. They found ways to make plays, and they won the game. But the San Francisco 49ers defense did drop a lot. So now they're 17th. They're 15th as far as yards per game. Because of that one game, they gave up over 400 yards in that game. So they're 15th in passing. But where they still are as far as being top 10, they're top 10 scoring defense. They're only allowing teams to score 19.6 points per game. So teams are averaging close to 20 points per game per this Niners defense. And this is going to be a game where the Buccaneers offense, who are 7th in points per game, they put up 27 points per game. Can the defense find a way to negate that, right? The defense allows 20. Tampa Bay's offense is freaking 27th, and they score a lot. They score points, and so that's what we're going to be up against. We're going to be up against a high-powered offense. Now, we talked about some of those key injuries, and I wanted to stay on those key injuries because when I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've got some weapons. They've got some threats. I'm not going to lie. Let's just keep it a buck. They got some dangerous threats out there. And here are the players that I feel like the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to have to zero in on. And it's all their skill set guys. I don't think that the 49ers need to overlook any of these players just because their names aren't Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. He's different. He's coming off the ACL injury, so he really isn't acclimated back yet. It's going to take him some time. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irvin, he's not playing. He's not going to play. So I know that I understand the fans are probably like, yo, they ain't got Mike. They don't got Chris. They don't got Bucky on the offensive side. Who the hell they got? Well, here we go. Dangerous threats. Number 1, give me my ding ding. Emeka Egbuka. This kid is dynamic. This kid will get past the defense. This kid leads the league in explosive plays down the field. And I'm not going to lie, coming off of a game where the Niners gave up 7 air explosive plays plus 20 yards, I was like, what's going on? To the Rams. Tutu Atwell. And we weren't even getting beat deep by Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. It was Tutu Atwell. We just beating us deep. We were getting beat deep. I was just like, oh man, and then we weren't able to apply or generate disruptive pressure. I'm trying to be a little bit more descriptive in my words like that I use, right? We been more clear. We had pressures. They just weren't disruptive pressures. They weren't throwing Matthew Stafford off for nothing. And that's a question mark. We got to talk about that. But Emeka Egbuka, I don't know why people think that Rachaad White is a shell of himself. I mean, the dude, he rushed for almost 50 yards last week, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns. He also caught for 30 yards. This dude was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting running back, and then they drafted Bucky Irvin, and those 2 guys split carries, and then Bucky Irvin became the starting running back. But Rachaad White is another dual threat type of a back. Kid from Arizona State, and he can catch, and he can run. He's an outside zone guy. He can run inside. don't overlook these guys. That's all I'm trying to say. So Emeka Egbuka, Rachaad White is going to be his second start, and they'll probably mix some Sean Tucker in there as well, but not necessarily a threat. And here's a threat nobody's probably thinking of on the offensive side. Their tight end combination. Cade Otton can have a game. He hasn't had an explosive game all season, but the Niners secondary, especially the safeties, they're not terrible against tight ends, but they give up plays to tight ends. So it's like they're limiting the plays from everybody else, and then they're letting the tight ends are able to go off. And they're picking on Marquise Siu and the rookies in the San Francisco 49ers secondary. So look, the Niners need to make sure that they zero in on Cade Ott and Payne Durham. That combination, that's a tight end combo right there. And then they're going to have to, the defense is going to have a game plan to play for. Like, they got to figure out, those are three guys that I feel like can cause, like, Cade Otton to get the touchdowns in the red zone, right? Rachaad White can score from anywhere on the football field, and Emeka Egbuka could beat just about any defense. He could beat him deep. He runs routes. Like, he's a route runner. Like, people say, oh, he's not a great polished route runner. No, he's not polished. He's a rookie. But I watched him run the out and ups. I watched him run the stuttering goals. What are we talking about? Like, this kid can get open. And he's beating NFL guys as a rookie. He's beating guys that's been in the league for a couple of years to a few years to several years, whatever. He's beating them. I'm not scared of him, but the Niners need to make sure that they zero in on some of these players. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got to figure it out. So they got to figure that part out. If not, it could be a long day. And it could be a Baker Mayfield having a day. All right. And so there's just some guys that, some names I want to familiarize you guys with. So if you hear these names called, because you're not going to hear the Mike Evans, you're not going to hear the Bucky Irvins, you're not going to hear the Chris Godwins. These are those, remember these names. And we don't want to hear these names, but just remember, if we hear those names, you heard it right here on the Wayne Breezy Show. All right. It's going to be key. The Niners got to zero in on some of these dangerous threat guys, all right? All right, man, let's get to the preview of this game. 73 to 76 degrees, going to be on CBS, 4:25 p.m. I'm excited, right? Again, watch party's going to be over on the Patreon. The Niners, man, just a little history about the two teams. Dang. The first game dates back to a long time ago, not 1997. I think it was like 1957. But anyway, it dates back to some time. Niners lead 21-7. All right, so that is the discrepancy. The Niners have pretty much owned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, and that's a good thing. The last time they played, November 10th, 2024, the Niners won 23-20 off the foot of a player that is no longer here. So if history repeats itself, this sounds like it's going to be a close game. I will say that none of those players are playing, like none of them. Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, I don't even think he played in that game last year. Maybe he did play in the 2024 game. But look, it's going to be a freaking phenomenal game. And it can come down to the feet of these kickers. And on today's episode of the BAM Show, we're going to be facing off, Mike and I. So make sure you guys tune in 5 p.m. Eastern time right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. We're going to be facing off Eddie Pinheiro versus Chase McLaughlin. It's going to be fun. I guarantee you, I can't wait to see what Mike got to say and how he's going to present these kickers. You know what I mean? Now, Nigel, I'm going to go to some of the comments in the chat. Another moderator of the channel. Don't forget about Sterling Shepard. Yeah, man, the old man Shepard is still in the league. And that, so I've, as far as dangerous threats, but let's talk about the trio, right? Let's talk about Egbuka, Shepard, the vet, and let's talk about Tez Johnson. Like, Baker is going to get the ball to these guys. Those are the guys he's got to work with. And he's going to get the ball to those guys. And those guys can be lightning. They can be flashy. They are good. I'm not going to lie. How do I know they're good? Because their stats, it's saying that they put up yards, they put up points. So, yeah, man, just because Look, just because he doesn't have his main guys, don't forget about Sterling Shepard. You dang going right. I don't want you to forget about Sean Tucker, number 44, their running back, neither. That's their change of pace back. Like, they're going to bring an aurora of weapons to attack the 49ers defense. That's just my thoughts on that. They're definitely going to bring that. All right, let's get to this game plan, because offensively, I'm going to give you guys away. Now, I'm not going to be as great as John Chapman, or or my man from 49ers Cutback. But I do have a game plan. And I was sitting here saying to myself, as I was writing the Keys to Victory, make sure you check out my Keys to Victory video. There's the 3 things. Like, every week, I write 3 ways the Niners, 3 things they must do in order to be victorious. And I'm going to stick with one of the keys to victory, because the 49ers offense must attack this defense. And I know that their defense is going to be kind of selling out to stop the run. I know that they're getting some players back defensively. But the San Francisco 49ers offense, everybody wake up! They must attack the secondary, particularly and force the linebackers to cover. They have to. They have to. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have some of the worst coverage linebackers. And, you know, I'm a huge fan of Levante David, but they have some of the worst coverage linebackers. Henceforth, why I say this could be a great day for running backs in the receiving game. I don't care who it is, particularly Christian McCaffrey, because you're going to see McCaffrey and Robinson. You're not going to see anybody else unless there's an injury. That's just the way it rolls. So offensively, the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan's game plan, they're going to try to run the ball. They're going to try to do their thing, maybe some outside zone. It's probably not going to work. They're going to try to run inside. It's probably not going to work as much, meaning that we won't see explosive plays. But don't detour away from the run game. The Niners still have to run this ball, I would say 30 to 35 times. They got to find a way to get to that number and kind of wear this defense out. But if they can find a way, and Kyle Shanahan is probably one of the greatest offensive minds of picking on linebackers. And you know what I realized? He doesn't have, like, other teams. He realizes that other teams don't have Fred Warner. So it makes it easy for him to game plan against guys that aren't Fred Warner. And shout out to Devin Lloyd, who's having a tremendous year from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps it up at this rate. But he was a problem against us. And who did the interceptions go to? Oh, I know. They went to Devin Lloyd, right? And so I think Kyle Shanahan is going to find ways to attack the secondary, mainly those linebackers. He's going to force those guys to get off of the line, right? Play action, pass, heavy, some boot action, some pass action. You're going to see a lot of action. Whether we run the ball successfully or not, there's going to be action, action, action. I wouldn't be surprised if the first play the Niners come out is some type of action play where it's either play action or pass action. Play action is when the quarterback, turns his back to the defense and holds on to the ball and steps back to pass. Pass action is when the quarterback is still kind of like dropping back, looking at the defense. And so it's less of a fake. You know what I'm saying? And so you're going to see those. And the boot action is when they roll out to the left or to the right. And so we're going to see that. And I guarantee he's going to be one of the first plays of the game. Juwan Jennings is probably going to play. He was back at practice. Limited, but back at practice. I mean, these guys are limited. I'm expecting Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings will suit up. Juwan. And so Mac is going to have some players to throw. But offensively, drag routes, we're probably going to see some screens. But get the running backs and the tight ends heavily involved. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I stay away from the safeties as much, the deep shots down the field as far as their safeties, because they got the safeties. Let's call it like it is. Like Antoine Winfield Jr., he's that guy. They got safeties, and their safeties are ranked pretty good per PFF, and those guys play really good ball. I would, unless you got a guy in man coverage down the field and the safety is out of position or not helping out, I really wouldn't try to push this ball down the field. That's not even Mac Jones. Not saying Mac Jones can't do it. I'm just saying that really it wasn't the game plan last week, and I'm not expecting that to be the game plan this week. They got really good safeties. Corners you could take advantage of. I think Jamal Dean is a penalty monster, and he's good, but I think he's really hands-on-y. Maybe you just throw the ball. Figure it out. Him on Jawan Jennings is going to be interesting because those are two big physical guys. But offensively, attack the linebackers, attack the secondary. If Zion McCollum is out there, I'm going at him because he's dealing with a hand injury and he hasn't practiced all week. So he's probably not in game ready shape. So attack him, just go after him. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's flip it to script. Let's get to some defense stuff. You know what I mean? So defensively, Robert Saleh. All right. So I think the pressure in this game is going to be more on Saleh than it is Kyle Shanahan. And I say that not in a bad way. But Robert Saleh, let's just say Kyle lost a key weapon. He's got a couple, not for the season, but his starting quarterback isn't playing and his tight end isn't playing, one of his best players, right? So he doesn't have those guys. Robert Saleh, though, the anchor to the 49ers defense, literally, no pun intended, was Nick Bosa. You built everything you did, your back end, your coverage was based off of what Nick Bosa was going to bring up front. And so now Saleh's really trying to resurface and reshape his defense without no new additions, without any new additions. And there's a rumor going on saying that, the 49ers are a 49er rumor. I don't know if it's true, but the 49ers are rumored to be going after heavily defensive end Bradley Chubb. We'll leave it at that. We'll see what happens. See if it develops. But that's the rumor, which would definitely help enable Robert Saleh. And if the 49ers win this game, I can definitely see them going after that guy. Because now it's all right, let's just keep this going. Because the only thing we're going to be missing, because it's going to be a close game. And the only reason why it's going to be a really close game is because you don't have your number one anchor out there on the defensive side of the football field. So Robert Saleh, the reason why I say the pressure is going to be more, he's got to find a way to generate effective pressures. You know what I'm saying? Not just quarterback hurries and things like that. Baker Mayfield's pretty good on the run. He's pretty good when he scrambles and throws the ball. If he's got wide receivers, and you got to think about it. He's not dealing with the Mike Evans and throwing the ball to an area to where he can go get it. No, he's dealing with quick receivers, quick, fast. Tez Johnson, he didn't run a fast 40, but I tell you what, on the football field, he's hard to catch. I remember seeing him at the Senior Bowl. I was like, man, this kid can move. No one was covering him. In college, he was uncoverable. He played for Oregon. At the Senior Bowl, I'm like, damn, he's just so tiny, no one really wanted to take a shot on him except for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now they found they got another wide receiver. So they drafted 2 wide receivers last year, and Mekabuka and him. So, look, they got guys. You got to find a way to generate some type of pressure, though. And I said effective pressures, pressures that are disruptive more. You got to hit. First of all, you got to hit Baker. You got to find a way to hit Baker. I don't know what the Niners are doing, but they got to hit these quarterbacks legally, within the rights of the game. They got to hit the quarterback. If they don't hit the quarterback, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If they're not, because Baker is, in my opinion, top 5 for MVP voting right now. If you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I never gave this many props to any other team, but your team is playing really good football in spite of the adversity. You guys are like the 49ers just of the NFC South. You're dealing with crazy injuries. You got a great defensive-minded coach. You got a quarterback that's competent, that understands what's going on, and they're allowing him to play football. He has a new offensive coordinator, right? So I'm giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers their props, but Robert Saleh's defensive game plan has to be not to eliminate, because you're not going to be able to take away, what Baker does. You just got to keep him in the box. What you got to do, though, is limit those explosive plays down the field. I can't have a little Tez Johnson blowing past the safety, and because the Niners couldn't generate pressure enough up front, Baker is getting that ball down the football field. Hell no. I would lose my cool. Literally. I'll be so mad I'll start smoking cigarettes, man. I'll do something crazy. I can tell you that right now. Like, I would be mad because the Niners in one game showed me that they can get beat deep. I don't know if they changed the game plan or what. I didn't understand what was going on because the Niners are always bend, don't break. They always have been a type of defense to be keeping everybody in front. I don't know. All right. Key addition, though, to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, inside the chat, all right, now, I want to know, Malik Mustafa, his practice window has been open. He's been a full participant in practice. Is Malik Mustafa playing in this game? Because if he is, it helps the game plan. Let me know in the chat. I'll see what we get out there. I'll go to some of these comments. Oscar says, rumor is it's going to be Ayuk for Chubb. Man, Ayuk to Miami? Hey, Tyreek Hill, I could see it. Contracts match, and can I, look, I don't want Ayuk traded. I don't know if they're allowed to even trade Ayuk because he's still on the PUP. So I don't know how that works. I think he would have to be cleared and then, past the Niners cleared. That means he would be cleared and then past the physical and stuff like that. And then maybe he'll be tradable. I don't know. But I could see this happening because the Niners wide receiving group, I think you're moving on and you're probably saying, well, Ricky Pearsall is going to be a number one wide receiver. And so the Niners, they paid Brandon Ayuk, but those contracts kind of, they kind of offset. Like, you know what I mean? So I can see that happening. That's not a bad rumor. All right, let's get to some of the comments that I asked about the question. Craig says, what about Bosa for Hendrickson? Absolutely not. I'm not trading Nick Bosa for anybody. Felicia says he's playing. Rob D says limited snaps. Oscar, Malik is playing a handful of snaps. So a handful, that's 5 snaps? I just want to be specific. Christy Marie says yes, with a few S's at the back end. Niner Faithful says snap count. Don't Bother Me says, I don't think he gets a few reps. I think he gets a few reps, not many. Colin, what's going on from across the pond? Pitch count for him. Boat says we don't have depth at wide receiver. Trade. We do have depth at wide receivers, though. We don't have depth. We don't have wide receiver depth, though. Trade BA. Okay. I think I get what you're saying. But that's the crazy thing, right? Like Ricky Pearsall struggling with injuries, too. Anyway, look, I would be happy if he does play. I think he's a tone setter. And so as far as the game plan, he would be, you got to get him in, right? If he's cleared to play. The question is who the Niners are going to get rid of, because if you activate him, I think the Niners will potentially activate 2 new defensive players this week. Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Because the Niners still got to stop the run. Robert Saleh still got to sell out and stop the run. The thing is, he can't allow plays to develop downfield, which will be explosive. This is not the game. This is not the game where you want to give up those, explosive plays. And I'm not talking about, 30, 20 yards or more in the air. I'm talking about, what if these receivers catch the ball and then it's just 60 yards yak? That's the type of receivers they're working with. I just want you to know. They got quick, fast guys. That's who they're working with. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But game plan offensively, attack the linebackers. Game plan defensively, don't allow those explosive plays in the air. And both sides of the football field got to be good on third down. Like offensively, they got to convert on third down. Defensively, they got to get the hell off the field on third down. All right. So if the Niners can do those things, just those 2 little things, I just feel like they'll be fine. And if you want to hear more about the keys to victory, you can read the article on 49ers Web Zone, which will be published on tomorrow. I believe every Saturday is the keys to victory. If you want to watch the little short video right here on YouTube, you can check that out right now. It will be available. All right, so my man Ronnie says, what about Kevin Givens? Is he playing? So excuse me, I think I stated those might be the two defensive players that'll be activated. And the Niners can use Kevin Givens. They really can. If he's healthy and he's activated, they need help inside. Khalil Davis is going to be playing with a club on his hand. CJ West going to be playing with a club on his hand. Alfred Collins is dealing with a knee injury. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? Like, every Niners defensive tackle is struggling. I mean, Kevin Givens was limited at practice, so we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. His window is open to return from the IR, but who knows what Kyle Shanahan is going to do. They don't want to rush anybody back, but the full participant was Malik Mustafa, so that is interesting. Oscar wanted to clarify 5'10". You said handfuls. That's 2 handfuls. I'm being a smartass. You know what I mean? Nope, he's not on the active roster as of yet. But stand pat. It may happen. It just may happen. All right. Now the Niners need that help, and because they need that rotation of defensive tackles, they need number one to be able to stop the run. That's key. I'm hoping this is a Jordan Elliott, freaking Alfred Collins interior type of game. And it sucks not having Yetur. I'm gonna need Sam Okuwano too to step up. Like, I'm gonna need to see more from him. I don't know what's going on. He had that penalty, the first penalty of the game last week, and then it kind of like, I don't know if it helped him spiral down, but penalties are weird. But I need him to be a little bit better, because now without Yetur out there, the edge, I'm more concerned about the edge than I am, the interior. And pay attention, because the Niners may call up another interior guy. They did sign defensive lineman Bruce Hector. They can call him up. He's on the practice squad. Or they can bring up Evan Anderson or the Hulk. I think everybody wants to see the Hulk. Sebastian Valdez, I think that's who everybody wants to see. So we'll see what happens, when the 49ers release their final practice report and all those things or whatnot. But I do got the Niners winning this game. So my score prediction for this, and it's on Nitty Gritty Niners, 24-20. I think the Niners, I think they lead this whole game. I think Tampa Bay gets a late touchdown or whatnot, and the Niners survive in Tampa Bay. The Niners survive in Tampa Bay. Drop your score predictions below. I'll go ahead and look at a couple of, see if you guys got anything close to where I am with the situation. But the good news is the Niners have been playing with backups pretty much all season. It's all about them getting, comfortable with each other, and the continuity. And I think the Niners are going to be just fine. I am a little concerned about Mac Jones's injuries. I'm not going to lie. I'm concerned more about the oblique than I am the knee. But if he's able to throw the ball without that crazy pain in the oblique area, we're going to be just fine. Because this is going to be a game that Tampa, Todd Bowles and his defense forces the Niners to throw the ball. They're going to force the Niners to throw the ball. Frank G says our special team sucks. Only good thing was letting go of Moody. Hey, man, as long as we kicking those balls through the upright, that's the only thing that matters, man. Special teams is a work in progress. I'll leave it out there. Oscar, question. Any chance Saleh makes up for defensive line injuries and switches D to 2-3-4? So now you want to switch the front. That's interesting. So Alfred Collins as the nose, I'm presuming? I feel like that's not a solid thing. Because of that wide 9 alignment that he likes to use. But this is an interesting take. Some people don't understand what this is, but this is a very interesting take. Potentially switching up the front to a 3-4. So that means your bookend, your edges will probably be Sam Okuwanu, Mykel Williams. Inside, you'll put Alfred Collins over the nose. Who are you standing up? Are you bringing in Luke Gifford as that extra linebacker? Do you call up Nick Martin to play one of those inside linebacker spots? It'll be Nick Mullins. Or is it going to be D. Winters and Fred Warner as your inside linebackers? And we'll end the show with a Fred Warner take. Or and then put You got to bring up Nick Martin. You got to bring up another linebacker. Nick Martin, you don't have to bring up. My apologies. He's on active roster. Is this the week we would activate him? I don't know what Robert Saleh's going to do. All I know is Robert Saleh's got to figure out how to attack this. Hold this. Keep that offense at bay. I think that would be the best way I can say it. 27-20 from Ronnie. Big Daddy Niners says they don't use Garindo like they should. 28-17 Niners. Yeah, Garindo's probably in the doghouse, dog. Christy Marie, 28-20. Oscar, 27-24 49ers. Pinero kicks a fourth quarter. Hey, why not? Like, why not? Corey, 35-17 score prediction. Hey, man, we'll see what happens. Ronnie says, Breezy, should the Niners blitz less? They didn't blitz a lot last game. It's a good question. They didn't blitz a lot last game. And I don't expect them to blitz at all this game. They have to. They can't give up those explosive plays. That's all I'm going to say. And usually you'll be like, yeah, like let the rookies prove that they can beat our guys. Man, bump that, man. I ain't trying to get beat anything. This got to be Emeka Egbuka's worst week. I need that. That's how. If I'm going into this game, I'm trying to make this explosive young phenom of a rookie, make this his worst week. Diamador Lenore, lock on him. Renardo Green, figure out their Sterling Shepard, and they'll probably use They'll probably use Tez Johnson in the slot, up to the stout. Put rookie on that rookie. Hey, matter of fact, they played against each other in Senior Bowl. Yeah. Like that. That's how I'm lining them up. That's how I'm lining them up, baby. Right? Just like that. That's how I'm lining them up. I'm not going to blitz because you don't get home, it's a wrap. That ball's getting completed. Those guys are going to catch it, and they're going to get yak, So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not saying he's not going to blitz. I just won't blitz. I just don't think you have to blitz. I think you really want to make sure you're containing out there on the edges. Keep this guy in the pocket. Keep somebody to hold him accountable for not running up, because Baker Mayfield will run. I know people who like he's a runner. He will run. He will run 1,000%. So we'll see what happens. Standing up, Huff, right? So that changes the game, right? So Huff. So your defensive ends. Who would your defensive ends be in the 3-4? Huff and. Because they're called outside linebackers, so that's why I named linebackers. But Huff would be a nice outside linebacker addition. Hell yeah. Now that I think about it. You know what, Oscar, that's not a bad thing, but is that something that the Niners are? I just don't think they're into the 3-4 anymore. I just think it's gone. Shout out to 400. We have 410 people watching this show, man. Can I give everybody a shout out, round of applause? Again, I'll be back here 5 p.m. Eastern time, man. Make sure you check it out. For sure, the BAM show, we're going to be facing off, and we got some kickers to address. Because which kicker is going to be the kicker of the game? Would it be Eddie P? Is it going to be Chase McLaughlin? It's going to be fun. Make sure you tune in 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thank everybody for tuning in one more time. One more time. Hey, I love it. Come on. One more time. I forgot the group that sing that. I feel like it's Daft Punk, but I'm probably wrong. Anyway, appreciate you guys, man. Look, it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. And get ready for Sunday. And again, if you want to be a part of the watch party, just come on over to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/Wayne Breezy. Shout out to our sponsors one more time over at Residency. Use that promo code right now. You can save on your purchase. All holiday specials coming up, man. Appreciate you. Last question from Big Daddy Niners before we dip up out of here. See? He's smart. Big Daddy's smart. Breezy, why don't they use Garindo? Yo, Garindo's not earning reps because of his fumbling issues, but he's fumbling on special teams. So my thing is, what if you just let him play running back? I think the issue is there's no space for him. Does that make sense? You trade it for a guy and Brian Robinson, because Garindo would have been running back too if they didn't trade for Brian Robinson. So we'll be seeing Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Garindo, but you're not really taking Christian McCaffrey off the football field. So you really only need those 3 running backs available. Now, God forbid there's any type of an injury, that's when you'll see a switcheroo. That's when you'll see the switcheroo. So I don't know. People think he's in the doghouse. I don't think he's in the doghouse. They traded for a player. They're gonna get the best bang out of their buck for the player that they traded for. That's Brian Robinson Jr. You signed Christian McCaffrey to an extension. You can't take him off the field, and when you do, it's got to be for a breather because he is just a matchup nightmare. Now, we do understand what Garendo can add to this, but it's just not his time yet. It's just not his time yet. The Brian Robinson trade was the wrinkle in time for him, so he's going to have to wait. And so we'll see how that pans out. You know, because even if Garendo got on the football field, it wouldn't be for much. It would come in and he would probably get tackled for a loss. Like, you know what I mean? It's not going to be a play dialed up. I mean, we're not getting explosive runs, period. So, yeah. Do I want to see him? For sure. I think he can provide that explosiveness for the San Francisco 49ers offense, something that we haven't seen all season. But unfortunate, it's going to come down to an unfortunate event, you know. It's not. I don't think it's about any of this. Niner faithful. I don't think it's about protecting the ball. I don't think it's about protecting the quarterback. I think Garendo is a good pass protector, and he proved that in the preseason. Brian Robinson as well, but Garendo doesn't really fumble the ball offensively. He fumbles it on special teams. It's a totally different game. It's weird. It's weird. Don't know. I can't really explain it. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Nikita, how you doing? She says, good evening, everyone in the 49ers chat. Your dad had surgery. He's doing okay. Yes, I did. How did I not know about this? He got his new partial teeths now. They pulled. Ouch. Woo. Well, listen, man, we'll be praying for Pops, man. I hope he's healing up and getting ready for the game, like you said. If you guys need anything, I think you're in my area. Shout me out. Hit me up. All right. Hit me up. And prayers out to him. All right, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will see you guys back here on the Wayne Breezy Show this Monday. We'll be recapping the game. Also, don't forget to check out and sign up for that BAM show today. It's going to be really interesting because Mike is weird when it comes to different positions. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about these kickers going facing off. All right, love you guys. Keep it faithful to the Bay.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.